So have you ever come across a situation where you're selling a property, or perhaps you're thinking about selling a property? However, you need the funds for the property for something that's going to allow you to actually move out of the property. Let me say that a little more clear. There may be times where you need to sell your home and sell your property, but still live in there or use the property for a time period after the closing. Is that possible? Can you do that? How can you do that? Let's chat about it. What's going on, everyone? This is Courtney Rollins, the Life and Transitions Experts podcast host and owner of Estate Pro Service and Do REI Deals, where I'm the certified probate expert and senior transition specialist. Essentially, I help people with the house and the property when they're going through some big transitions in their life, particularly dealing with the estate of someone who's passed away, or perhaps they're looking for long-term care for a loved one and they need support or help finding caring home solutions so that they may have options that are available to them to perhaps unlock some of the equity or do some things with the property that can help them and their family. So let's take a look. So today, can you give me cash right now and give me time to move out later? All right, let's see. So just a reminder, folks, probate is the legal process for settling the affairs in the estate of a deceased party. In North Carolina, where my operation is, a property does not necessarily have to go through the probate process unless it's specified in the will, and there may be some other provisions where it's necessary to sell the property. But other than that, it's usually goes through the state's succession laws. However, probate and property in an estate is still under the purview of probate. In other words, it's still something that you may have to deal with or work with in the probate process. But I just wanted to make a clarification of what probate is for those who may not be aware. Now, what if you want to sell the property, but you need time to move out? Perhaps you have personal items in the property that need help. I remember working with a family, and he's well, the father was an artist, and so he had paint and brushes, his art material just all over the basement, and he needed time, more time than what we were given during the escrow process of closing to move out. So that may be something you find yourself in. Needs cash to actually move, so you may need the funds for the down payment of the new house or the new rental, or even the funds for the U-Haul, or hiring young people to come and help you move. You may need those moving expenses taken care of, but the only funds that you really have access to would be the funds that you need to that you're receiving from the sale of the property. Maybe you haven't found a new place to move yet, and you still need a little bit of time to locate. You're confident you can still move, but you just need a little bit of time. Perhaps you have tenants in the property and you want to give them time to move out. There's many different reasons why you may want cash at closing and still need time before you hand over the keys and have no longer legal access to the property. So 5 things to think about. 1, make sure you're legally able to sell the home. Are you the person who's legally able to sell the house? And if so, that goes right to number 2. Number 2, ask for time after closing. If closed mouths don't get fed, the seller or the buyer may not even be aware of this as an option. Now, asking for time after closing is for many home buyers is something they may be used to. It's not something that happens all the time, but it is definitely a normal enough occurrence that they may know, and if they may be willing. And if you don't ask, you perhaps won't you won't receive. Now, number 3, now know that the buyer may want some type of securities to protect themselves. So the buyer may want to hold funds in escrow. If you're dealing with a closing attorney or a title company, or you can actually use that company, and you can write it directly in the agreement. Hey, we're going to buy this property for $300,000, but we're going to hold $5,000 back in escrow against any damages, and give the seller 2 weeks, 1 month, whatever the agreement, to move out. And at that time, the rest of the money will be released to them, minus any damages that were incurred. Whatever the agreement is, you can set that up and make sure that you have that agreement, which is basically number 4. Put it in writing. Put it right in the purchase agreement. Hey, seller agrees to have this amount of time to move out, and that they will leave it broom clean, broom swept clean, or they're going to leave it completely as is and they're not responsible for any stuff. Just whatever it is, make sure it's put in the purchase agreement or an agreement that is signed and secured in writing. Yes. And number 5, you could also always ask for money or help move. So that could be a part of the negotiation and part of the consideration when you actually are talking about the price and the terms. So, folks, I hope you can find someone like Estate Pro Service that does a holistic approach. Today, we're talking a lot about the property. There's a lot of other aspects of probate that folks may need support or help with. But at Estate Pro Service, we really are the hub, and would love for you to come to us so we can help you navigate the probate process, particularly if you're in Durham, North Carolina. If you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or any of those places, would love for you to hit the like and subscribe, give us some feedback and comments. It really helps understand where we need to go to grow, how we're helping people, what directions we may be able to go to in the future. At any rate, this is Courtney Rollins signing up off as I always do, saying rise and tides, it lifts all sails. Cheers.